Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of a recap of what's happened over the last 12 to 18 hours, I guess, since last night, really, actually. There was a statement made by Pathfinder about what's going to be happening or not happening, I suppose, with regards to the Odin Leaderboard, which was also associated with the accursed F-up that we talked about in the last video. So we're going to go over all of this stuff and what that means, if it means anything. It seems to have ruffled a few feathers in the community, but are we really surprised that Scopely's kind of shuffling things under the rug a little bit? Not really, probably. But we'll be talking about that, doing some updates from the blog as well. We'll talk about those things. But before we get started with the video, there is something that I want to let you guys in on. Hey everybody, so you've probably known that I've been playing Raid Shadow Legends for a little while now. I'm going on about 4 months playing this game, and I am here to tell you why you should start playing Raid Shadow Legends. And coming soon, Raid is launching a brand new limited time event dungeon that's going to be around for a little while. I am super excited about this, and I am really excited to share this with some of you guys as well. You jump into the game, this is going to be starting soon, and this is going to be an absolute blast. And for the first time ever, Raid is giving away a free Void Legendary Champion by the name of Tuhanarak here that you can see on the screen. All you have to do is input the code Desert Queen on a brand new account within the first 48 hours. And before we finish off, I do want to remind people that I do have the Boilon Raid Shadow Legends channel. So I've been putting out videos about 4 to 5 times a week here on this channel. There's tons of great resources, beginner guides, how to play a little bit better, how to improve, how to progress, some shard summoning videos, all sorts of types of videos here on the channel that you guys can check out if you're interested in jumping into Raid Shadow Legends. Of course, don't forget to use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen or in the link in the description down below to get yourself started, because now is the absolute best time to play, because you're going to get all sorts of new stuff. And if you download the game using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen, you are going to get yourself some more free champions, a free legendary, a Leneral, and 2 free epics, Tagore at account level 15 and Ugo at account level 30, combined with Tuhanarak from earlier on. That's going to give you an absolute amazing start in Raid Shadow Legends. So what are you waiting for? Alright, so let's start here at the Ride of the Allfather. So this is the event that obviously has a couple of days left to go before it expires on a Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific. And for those of you still running the negative zone, there is a couple more days left for you to be able to do that. And one thing I do want to say is, good God, I really hope... So there is a negative zone coming back next week for the Quasar Awakened Basic. But I really hope, because they're adding 4 more nodes onto that, I really hope that this is not something that can be run daily. I'm not going to say expected to run daily, but I just really hope that they don't have it available to be run daily for 12 nodes. That's just me. I think that if they made it more reasonable with some sort of 3-day cooldown or something like that, that would be fine. But good Lord, am I exhausted for doing this, at least for the leaderboard. And because I don't think that there is a leaderboard coming around for a little while anyways, that I will do the 2 runs of the new negative zone and probably not do it, but after that. But for those of you who like to grind it, you know, I guess it is available, possibly available for you to be able to do that next week. We'll find out, and we'll talk about that then. But let's talk about Ride of the Allfather. So, you know, power cores, right? That's kind of the crux of this issue, right? And, you know, where I'm at in my leaderboard, I'm at 4659. I'm like really kind of like, will I stay in the top 5,000? I don't know. It's going to be really tough. I really wanted to get top 4,000, but I don't know if that's going to happen either. Now, the difference between my score, 117275, and basically, you know, 50 points higher is almost 1,000 points. Now, that's important because, you know, you're getting 1-to-1 on the power cores, which might not seem like a lot. Because, you know, I've seen some photos of people who, you know, had spent upwards to 8,000 power cores. You know, some people may have spent more than that. Is it a lot of people who spent a lot of power cores? Probably not. But because the rankings are so picky, and what I mean by that is that, you know, if you're not in the top 5,000, you're not getting the 1 diamond Odin, that there could be people who are getting knocked out, plus or minus, 50 to 100 ranks, because those power cores that people got for free made a difference. What am I talking about? Well, if we go into the inbox and we go into so you should have got those. Everyone should have got this, which was what we talked about, I believe, in yesterday's video, because they were committed to doing this, which is the 1,000 power cores and 100,000 intel to everybody. So you should have received this, and you should have had this in your inbox by last night. Now, that's the 1,000 power cores that if you want to put it towards the Odin leaderboard, then there you go. But the other thing was this, right? So I showed this in my other video as well. And this was essentially a power core refund, an intel refund for what I had spent on the accursed characters. And this for some people, this could have been a lot of power cores, right? If you were someone who got like 50 plus shards for all the characters, or even like targeted farmed a certain character, and you cored upwards, it can jump pretty fast, because once you get past the 200 core refreshes, it goes up to 400 and then 800 and 1600 and so on. I think so. I think it jumped. I've never scored that high, but I think it gets like that. So you could have potentially spent a lot of power cores to do this. And then they did some weird thing where they tried to get rid of it, and then the stores reset, and then it refreshed, reset the store costs, and then people were doing it again. Needless to say that some people may have spent a lot of power cores, and apparently they don't believe it's a big deal, but I still think that it is a deal. I'm not going to say it's a huge deal, and I don't know how many people are going to get pushed out as a result of this, but it is a deal nonetheless, and something that they should take a little bit more seriously than the response that they decided to give. And so I do want to talk about that, and we have this from Pathfinder. So commanders, we have seen the concern regarding the Odin leaderboard. We want to first address that the amount of players who spent a meaningful amount of power cores was extremely low. Now, I don't like that they use descriptors like this, because they're not getting a number, right? What does extremely low mean to them? Is it, 20 people? Is it 50 people? What is extremely low? I don't know what their threshold is for these adjectives. The primary way to progress in this event is by playing the negative zone and earning negative zone or fragments. So when you do one clear of the negative zone, you get 2,000 now. After the first 2 times, you get 2,000 fragments, which is multiplied by 2 for points. You get 4,000 points. So I will agree that one run of the negative zone is equivalent to about 4,000 power cores. Power core scoring on the leaderboard is intended to be more of a tiebreaker. That's probably true. With that said, we are going to take some steps to ensure the integrity of the leaderboard, blah, 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 blah. After the event ends, we will make adjustments if there are any ties by going through the leaderboard and adjust ranking brackets to add additional players to each brackets if any ranks were affected by this issue. Now, my problem with this is that they said if it was affected by this issue. How do they know? Are they going to, maybe I should give them more benefit of the doubt. Are they going to manually go through every single person who was pushed out and be like, did that person or the person who pushed them out, were they a recipient of extra power cores? That's what I don't know, if they're going to put that kind of manual detail in to do this, because I think that it would still require a lot of additional checking and a lot of time. Sometimes they do put this in, sometimes they do not. So you just kind of have to trust them, I guess. Trust me, bro, for Scopely, which I'll admit is pretty low for me in terms of my ability to trust them. And then here at the bottom, I'll zoom out a touch. It says, we may want to make it clear that there may be no changes needed after the leaderboard ends and we look at the data. So they're basically saying that maybe there will be nothing. There will be no changes. So that's interesting. And also, I do want to kind of go over the thread, the same post on Reddit. I know Reddit's not a bastion of a lot of things, but there was a lot of people. No surprise, I suppose, that people were kind of unhappy about the response to this. Namely, there was some really unhappy people about the fairity's not a word, right? The making sure that things are fair. And I guess we'll have to see, right? Marvel Strike Force has always suffered when it comes to, in general, integrity of leader. This is not the first time, right? Just this is not the first time at all when it comes to leaderboards. Like, if you think that Marvel Strike Force is a fair play environment, it is not. There's all sorts of ways that things get compromised, that sometimes Scopely does something about, sometimes they do not. One thing that I will say in general to this whole thing, though, is that at least people did get stuff for free, right? For better or for worse, there was free 1,000 power cores and 100,000 intel that you could use how you wish, right? If you didn't take part in the kerfuffle, then you still walked away with some free shit. So I guess that, which is actually better than some of the promo codes that's been out lately as well. So I do want to let people know about that because I think it's kind of fair. And speaking of that, because I kind of forgot, before we go too much further in the video, I do want to remind people, or sorry, let people know about this new promo code that came out late last night, at least for me anyways. First count champs. So 1 ST count champs, redeem, and this is going to give you 20,000 intel. This was just some community promo code that they were giving away on Discord. So I just want to let people know about this. I will put this in the description down below in the description box, right where you find things. Otherwise, hopefully you guys see this and you do get the claim for that and some free intel. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing, right? So let's talk about the blog, right? I didn't get a chance to really go over a lot of this stuff was already in the data mines from yesterday, so I won't go over everything, right? Helverine, we knew that because of the data mines. The one thing that I do want to kind of correct a little bit is the tower thing that, you know, I didn't have all the full details in the data mines, but we do know now. Also, the Songbird free-to-play event is not an actual 100 shard event. It is, I think, what I thought it was, which was going to be a weekly alliance event. So it's only going to be 25 Songbird shards per week, which is similar to the Daredevil Modern Alliance event that we got. So this combined with the Songbird Battle Pass is not going to get you a free-to-play unlock in week or in this first week. It may in fact take you 2 or even 3 weeks to get her unlocked. So that's going to be a bit of a pushback where we're not actually getting a flat 100 shards like we do for some characters. So that part's a little bit disappointing. And then we do have the Harbinger month 2 stuff happening as well. And then the farmability of the Liberty characters, which was in the data mines as well. This is coming to fruition. So something that I wanted to point out there. So a lot of the stuff we already talked about in the data mine, so I'm not exactly going to go over it again here. There's going to be 310 Quasar shards. There's going to be these like weekly items, which I talked about as well. They're calling it mystical relics as far as the command center goes. For week 5, you're going to be spending campaign energy. How much? I don't know. Previously, I thought it was like 300, but maybe it's going to be a little, or was that for the monthly? But either way, maybe it's going to be a little bit different for this week 5 objective. And then there's going to be the Pride Gem, which I guess is going to be in-game somewhere. And then I want to talk about this Jean Grey skill boss thing, because it actually is live right now, which I was informed about. Now, I don't think it matters for you to do it right now, but it is here. On the Jean Grey skill boss node, you can find something called this version of Astral Force, which I guess has nothing to do with the Shadow King thing, but you can find it here on the boss node. So you will have to clear this. How many times, I don't know, but there is one boss, or there should be one boss for every player. So just keep an eye out for that. And maybe, I guess you could do it early, but I don't think it's going to do anything. Otherwise, you would start doing this from Monday. So just keep an eye out on that as well. And then there's going to be the Cosmic War stuff. We already talked about this event as well. That's going to be Crucible with, Vigilantes with Crucible, in Crucible, Liberty in War. So make sure you do that. It does say offense or defense, but I'm always sus when it comes to that because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would just use Liberty on War Offense. Aren't they a War Offense team, I thought? Anyways, just make sure you do that. I'll probably just keep them on offense to be safe. Helverine coming back around. And then this is the negative zone that I want to talk about, right? So they're adding in 40 missions. We've already talked about this a couple of times already, but there's going to be nodes 9 through 12. And as far as I'm aware, that they are going to be Cosmic Crucible traded on the nodes. Which is mainly intended for Accursed. They do talk about this by recommending deploying the newest characters, right? The question is how well Vigilantes or Thunderbolts will do on nodes 9 through 12, given that they do not have the raid bonuses activated or any of the other techs activated. As far as I am aware, maybe that'll be changed, subject to change, and you are going to get the Awakened Quasar Basic for doing the first 2 runs. Now, after that, what is going to be, is it going to be daily? And if so, what are we getting? And should we do it? 12 nodes, sometimes 8 nodes can take me upwards to an hour, depending on my RNG on the 3rd node with Super Scroll. Nodes 9 through 12, I have no idea how long that's going to add on to the run, but I am not going to be running this every single day. If it is available every day, maybe I'll run it once every 2 days or something like that when I have the time, when I want to do it. I don't know. But after doing this 2 weeks for the Odin milestone, I am absolutely exhausted. And I would be curious to know from you guys if you plan on doing it every day or not, because I'm pretty burnt out, I'll be honest, when it comes to this negative zone. And it's going to be like this for the next like 2 months, because when it comes to July, there's going to be 16 nodes as far as I'm aware. I think it goes up to 16 nodes total. So this is going to be absolutely crazy, I think. But anyways, the accursed stuff is coming. The tower, a little bit disappointing. They're just basically like revamping the showcase. So showcase chapter 2 for the team showcase. Like once you get all the characters, there's going to be a tower to climb instead, calling the accursed team tower. And basically based on how many stars you have for each of the characters, you will climb the different cells with all 5 characters. So it's just a different way of doing the showcases. I thought it was an actual tower coming back, but no, it's a little bit disappointing. And then we have some global milestone for Cosmic Crucible coming. I think that's what this is, Multiversal Crucible. And more Twitch drops, yay, right? Said nobody ever. So there we go. That's the blog. That's the update on the Ride of the Odin, whatever the hell, Ride of the Allfather, and all of that. And that's just my little update here for Saturday. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. How many power cores did you spend? Did you take advantage of the accursed thing at all? And how many free power cores did you get for your milestone as a result of that? For me, it was only 1,000, but for some others, it was a little bit more. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.